My name is Vilar. I use they them pronouns. I graduated SUNY Suffolk in 2013, 2012. And I am the head of stage design for Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. Right now, I'm teaching beginning lights and sound, beginning scenic design, advanced lights and sound, advanced scenic design, projection design, and digital marketing, and production lab class. So I have these individual classes now where these programs, these classes need specific curriculums. So the first thing I did was reach out to you guys. Some of my and I still say this with the utmost pride is that some of my best education and skills that I still use now is still what I used when I was in Suffolk. Immediately when I got that job, I knew that I needed to reach out to yourself for stagecraft and your understanding theater classes. I reached out to Jason for lighting craft so I can teach beginning lights. And I reached to some of my older professors during my undergrad at New Paltz and asking for your guys' syllabus. I think we need to kind of bring it up like that. It's like I was the biggest in the butt, like in the first couple of years. I was incredibly immature, and I was so, you know, um, naive in what like the real world had expected for me that the you guys really helped me kind of make that maturity grow. I have been, the program has made me grow based off battered or bruised of my own making, and that helping me grow as a person. I would probably say one of my proudest moments, in all honesty, is probably two things. Number one, when I took lighting craft at the time as an acting major, the assignment was, and for any alums who know this, the Seven Deadly Sins project that Jason Cankle always gives us, and it was supposed to represent this ideal of like war that we praise the killers and we praise the war heroes, but we ignore the wrathful intentions that got them there. And when I did that, Jason pulled me aside in the Shea lobby and was just like, "Listen, drop acting. This isn't going to work for you. It's never going to work for you. You have a career in lighting design, do that." And that was the first time that I felt seen for so long. And I immediately jumped in head first. That was number one. And number two was I was kind of turning into a workaholic during my first show, talking with. And it got to a point that Jason started getting so frustrated with me, where because he always had notes to take. And when I was designing the show and I was on the Ion, I hear click, 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 and I turn around and I'm like, "Do we have a note?" He's like, "No, don't worry about it." I was like, "Oh, okay." Typing in, click, click, click. What? Nothing. It's like, okay, if you have a note, like if it's something that I can fix right now, just let me. I was like, "Don't worry about it, just do it." I was like, "Okay." Click, click, click. Kept on going throughout the whole tech. In the end, I asked for the notes. I was like, "Lay it on me," and he literally just was trying gibberish on the computer. And in the bottom, and he was just like, "Stop worrying about what I think and just focus on the work." And that really kind of hit me because now I do that with my students because of course I have to and be like, you don't need to worry about the notes. The notes will come. Don't worry. But if you know that the work is there and if you see that something can be better, take the note, but finish the product first. And that helped me a lot. And that was probably one of my proudest moments because it was one of those things where in the end, like Jason didn't have any notes for me. He just wanted me to shake off that insecurity that like, hey, your work is good. Like just relax and do the work. Oh, for sure. I mean, I'll be honest. I was there for 4 years, and it was because I always wanted to know more, and there was always room to learn more. I could have graduated within 2 years if I really wanted to, but there was always another class that was offered or an opportunity for independent study that I could have jumped into that always kind of kept me going. And it was something that like I learned early on that like college isn't a race. It's not like high school. I need to graduate in 4 years. No, like there was more that I could learn. Suffolk has always been affordable. I'd rather learn as much as I can under my mentors there that I only had to pay at the time like 2,500 maybe a year, like uh then having to go to a feel like I'm being rushed at a 4 year program where that stigma of feeling like you're going to stay there for 5 or 6 years was more pronounced, if that makes sense, right? Like Suffolk is a 2 year program for sure, and and it's designed that way because of the intent to transfer. But I think something with a community college that people tend to forget as well is this: it's for people who want to just continue education. It's not necessarily for that degree or that piece of paper. They just want to continue to learn something new. Oh, a ton. Oftentimes because I was a troublemaker. The faculty has always had their doors wide open for anybody who needed to talk to the office, even times when they needed a break from us. Whether you were eating your burrito that you're just like, this is finally it. I finally get a chance to eat my burrito. And it's like, oh, can I ask you a question? Sure. After I graduated and got my 4 year degree at New Paltz, uh, prior to that, I got an opportunity to be an intern at Electronic Theater Controls or ETC. And from there, I spent the summer really kind of getting to know the different products and the boards and stuff like that. And it kind of got me dipping my feet into like that commercial theater, that the other side of theater of like not just buying equipment but selling the equipment, right, and getting to know the equipment. From there, I got an opportunity to meet Kelly Easterling, who at the time was the Northeast manager of Four Wall Entertainment. And he offered me a job to be the project coordinator for the Northeast. It was my first time kind of going to ACTF number one. And I remember going to the design, presentations and seeing everybody's work and seeing that. I mean this with the utmost respect, but how much better we were, than some of the 4 year colleges that were there. Seeing that, like the dynamic of just kind of like the the exhilaration of doing that, I that's when I immediately was like, listen, this is something I really want to do, and I want to present. I want to be able to show my work and know that, and see other professionals, like give you criticism because, um, I remember like they made it to nationals. Look at other career paths and realize how many of them come from a theater background. Some when you go to like a like Long Island Aquarium, you see these incredible lights that create that immersive environment, right? Most likely or not, that's somebody with a theater degree made those designs. When you see a lighting concert, at Jones Beach, or when you visit Six Flags, or even when you just are seeing a theater show, right? Theater is not just Shakespeare. It's not just the written word, and especially in our industry and on the design and technology side, we are so much more than just a stage and an apron and a couple of lights on a fly rail system. We are storytellers that are having the ability to deconstruct the natural world and reconstruct, like, using inorganic means to create a living, breathing environment.